That's my point. He got all the lessons that you learned from a 15th place and still got to take home an 8th. Like, could it get any better? Boys and girls of the moto world, what's going on, you crazy kids? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all doing well, man. Hope you guys had a great weekend. Arlington, Triple Crowns. Oh my God. I can't even begin to imagine how brutal the Triple Crown format is for the riders. I mean, just think of the 250 guys, dude. They do damn near double the amount of main event time that they do on a normal race weekend. Gnarly. The track, gnarly. The whole deal. But as a selfish old fan, I gotta tell you, the drama is pretty entertaining, and there was plenty of drama. So real quick, the 450 class, I gotta shout out Kenny and Jason for very different reasons. Wasn't Kenny's best finish, but I thought that was the best Kenny has ridden all year long. The most intensity I've seen from him. It just looked like he was attacking all night long, which is a sign of comfort, right? At that level, those guys are not going to attack at the peak if they're not completely comfortable. So to me, that was a really good sign because that was a very tricky track. And he looked really comfortable. He was super fast. And then Jason, man. Poor Jason, right? I mean, a lot of it has been his own doing. I'm sure he would tell you the same thing. Hasn't been the season he's hoped for. But at this level, man, if you can wash out the front in the first corner right out of the gate and then finish 8th in a shortened Triple Crown main, dude. I mean, he's just so fast. He's so much fun to watch ride. And it can't be fun. It cannot be fun knowing that every single pass you make is going to be looked at under a microscope. So, but he went out there, he executed. I thought he had a great night, just missed the podium. Shout out to Kenny and Jason. And I got to throw AP in there too, actually, man. AP has been so consistent, so fun to watch ride. But of course, it's the 450 class. It's the three amigos. It's Cooper, it's Eli, it's Chase. What a night, man. And we're set up for a legendary title fight for the rest. I honestly believe we're going to Salt Lake with this thing. I can't see anybody pulling a big enough lead before Salt Lake. I think it's going to come down to the last main event. I really do. Which, as fans, how stupid lucky can we be, right? The one thing I do want to say about the 450 class, Chase Sexton, okay? And it's not even about Chase. My problem is with the commentators. It's with Ricky Carmichael. It's with James Stewart when he was there, or when they get Brayton on the show, or any of these other guests. You know better, man. You know better. And if you hold that position, if your job is to call the races to the world, you have a responsibility, man. You have a responsibility to teach people that have no idea what it's like to be in the sport what these riders are going through. And you're doing a disservice when every single time something happens to Chase, it's because he's not mentally strong enough. Miss me with that, man. Come on. The thing that kills me is you know better. You know better. Chase has been getting a ton of crap for not exploring the track late into the main event, right? Getting married to the main line, and it bites him. So what's he do? What's he do? He literally carves out an inside. And yeah, he came in with a little bit too much heat, put a little bit too much trust in that front tire, and washed out. It was a very quick ordeal. But still, the first thing you hear, Ricky's voice gets all low and, well, this is what we're talking about. It's every single week. He just, it's these mental mistakes. He just doesn't have it yet. What? You know better than that. James Stewart. If anybody knows what it's like to be crazy fast and be on the ground a lot, I mean, that is James Stewart in a nutshell, right? Come on, man. And the reason why it kills me so much is because, 2 minutes later, Eli hits that tunnel jump and washes out at the bottom of it. What does Ricky say? Oh, it's so uncharacteristic. He's one with the motorcycle. You never see that. I'm so shocked. Really? Are you watching the same sport that I'm watching? Let's go back to Anaheim 1. Eli put it down on the tunnel jump. If Ken Roczen isn't a world-class rider, Eli probably has a shattered right leg in that moment. Anaheim 2. Eli should have ended his season if he didn't just magically roll with the tough blocks, there's a pretty high chance he is done. And then he puts it down again in Arlington. How many times has Chase crashed this year in main events? I mean, I get that it's at the end of the main event, so that's why it's all these pressure and mental game. That's the topic. But you guys know better, man. Look at those whoops that he crashed in Tampa. Cooper literally should have done the same exact thing a lap before he did, but you barely hear about that. It's just that, well, Chase can't close the deal. I mean, come on, man. It's just not fair to the kid. It's not fair to the kid, but luckily, when I watch him give interviews, I don't just see a guy saying all the right things. I really think he believes what he's telling us, and I love it. I absolutely love it. I think that 23 is going to win this title, bro. I still do. I still do. And the last little thing on the 450 class is the lapper situation. Poor Grant Harlan, man. He tried to do the right thing and get out of Chase's way. He was trying to feel where he wanted to go. They were playing chicken a little bit. And in this class, if you leave a window open this much, somebody's going to drive a front wheel in it. And that's exactly what Cooper did. He did exactly what he's supposed to do. So it is what it is, man. Chase still made up points on Eli. So did Cooper. And it's the three title guys on the podium once again. So it's going to be interesting, man. Huge congrats to Cooper. Big time win. But once again, we know who stole the show. It's that 250 East class, baby. Not the West, the East. The West class, I think, would have been a lot more exciting if Faulkner didn't get hurt. And even RJ, Cameron, Pierce Brown, everybody's been nicked up besides probably the best rider in that series. So it is what it is. But this East Coast is going to give us a lot of really good racing between now and the end of the season, man. Nate Thrasher showed that 96 ain't running away from nothing. Period. Nate was flying. He gave that 96 all he could handle in that first main event. I don't know if you guys have ever had a torn ACL before. It is the goofiest feeling thing in the world. Yeah, it hurts a lot, but it just feels so weird, man. You can literally feel that your knee is not connected in certain directions. It's funky. And yeah, technology with knee braces has come a long way, but a torn ACL is a torn ACL, especially when you go down in the whoops like he did. So much respect for Nate, man. That kid is a fighter. He's very humble, very quiet. Just one of my favorite kinds of people, man. It's why I'm such a big fan of Hayden. Just a great character, great head on his shoulders. He doesn't just say the right thing. You can tell that he lives what he says. I love it. I love it. So happy for him. To lose the way that he lost in Tampa, that's devastating for some guys. Some guys will never recover from something like that. The very next time you get to line up, you're consistent all night long and get on the top of the box. Man. And how about Star Yamaha, man? We've had 2 Triple Crowns between the two coasts. On the West, there was one HRC Honda with 2 Star Yamahas, one of them on the top step. Triple Crown on the East, one HRC Honda, 2 Star Yamahas, one on the top step of the box, man. I think that's so cool. So happy for Nate. Really happy for Jordan too, honestly, because he had a lot of moments. But big shout out to those guys, man. Those are definitely, I think, Anstie has been incredible. He's been a lot better than I think a lot of us expected. But let's be real. Those 3 are the guys this year anyways. They can run the pace probably the most comfortably out of anybody right now anyways. That's going to change. And I honestly think we're going to see that change a little bit in Daytona, but I'll get into that in a minute. Huge night for J-Mart. Huge night for Moseman. I thought Moseman really gave himself something to build on for the first time. I was kind of wondering what's going on. Like, you're not going to find a bigger Hayden Deegan fan than me, but I'm seeing that 31 finish behind Hayden every weekend. And just as a man, just as a guy that has invested his entire life in this sport, that's going to be a really hard pill to swallow, man. Same thing with J-Mart. J-Mart and Moseman have finished behind Hayden the first 2 rounds. So I think it was a big night for them confidence-wise. And I'm a huge J-Mart fan. I'm a big fan of all these guys. And I don't know why anybody wouldn't be. If you had any idea what it takes to get to this level, you wouldn't want to see anybody fail. You know, only one guy can win the race. But you don't have to wish ill on people or get bummed out when they succeed. I just don't understand that, man. I don't understand that at all. But anyways, the rookies, baby. The rookies, once again, Mr. Hayden Deegan, Mr. Chance Hymas, Vialle, second place in that final main. That's really impressive, man. Talon Hawkins. I don't think people, and this is what I mean by I wish the announcers that know the sport like the back of their hand would do a better job of educating the fans that don't know the sport very well. What Talon did was really impressive, man. That kid didn't qualify straight out of qualifying, so he had to go to the LCQ, his first ever LCQ, okay? You can say whatever you want about the LCQ. It's gnarly. It's a gate drop. It's a first turn. You have to get top 4 or your night is over. You're the only Husky in that class. Like, there's a lot of pressure on that kid, man. And he executed. He absolutely executed. I thought he did an amazing job. So big shout out to Talon. Made all 3 mains so far. I mean, that's huge. That is huge. Chance was really consistent all night. I didn't see what happened in the 3rd main. He finished 16th. Something must have happened. He must have went down, I'm assuming. But either way, man, another top 10 overall. 3 top 10 overalls to start his career. I mean, that's incredible. That's incredible. But my boy, the 238, Mr. Hayden Deegan. Look, I'm going to say something, and you guys might disagree. You might agree. I think last night was perfect. I'm just saying, I literally think last night could not have possibly gone better, big picture-wise. I really don't. I think all the little hater goons were like, oh my God, he's in 16th, woo! Yeah, you might want to savor that little celebration, because that was exactly what needed to happen. That was so perfect. The kid got to get all of the learning lessons that exist in a 15th place main and still come home with an 8th place. Like, man, I hesitate to say this because there's still a lot of racing left and anything can happen in this sport. But to this point, it has literally gone perfect. In my opinion, big picture wise, it has gone perfect. He would not have gotten anything more if he were to win every single race to this point in the season. I personally think it has gone perfect for Hayden to this point. I mean, can you even imagine? The one thing I will give Ricky is he noticed in the moment what happened to Hayden. I didn't even see it because the cameras weren't on him. Obviously, he actually got a really good jump, but he got shut into the tough blocks. I was watching him the whole way around. He got shut off into the tough blocks, and on a track like that, man, if you come out back that far back, it just kind of is what it is. And the corner before the whoops, again, the dirt looked like the best dirt possible, but it was so deceiving, man. Right underneath that really like loose topsoil was a very slick base, and he kind of lost his rear end trying to cut underneath somebody, getting a drive into the whoops. So he had no drive really, and it bucked his foot off. And yet again, the kid just shows us, oh, hey, by the way, I also know how to crash better than most professionals also. I mean, think about the Ironman wreck. Think about the weird little cross rut thing hitting the face of the triple in Tampa. And then that whoop section save, bro. I honestly thought he was going to ride away from that. You or me? Yeah, we might not be awake yet. I'm just being real with you. Like, that was so impressive, man. I'm just so hyped for the kid, dude. I'm so hyped for the kid. It had to be, I honestly would have paid money to just be sitting on the couch next to a few of these YouTube goons that build their channels off of negativity, just to see their faces, because you know they were celebrating after that first main event. Like, finally, the kid's gonna have a terrible night. Finally, I can make some videos again. Nope, not quite there, Junior. Oh man, what's he do? I mean, honestly, when I saw the gate that he picked, I'm like, yes, he's on the inside. All he's gonna do is let off just a little bit later than some other guys, and he'll have it. But it didn't work for anybody in either class. Those starts that he got in the second and third main, that was so impressive, man. The flat tracking around the outside. He came out, what, like second in both of them or something like that? That was so impressive. So impressive. To go from a terrible start, a little hiccup in the whoops, finishing 15th place, and then ending 8th on the night after going 5-4 in the second two. It's just so impressive, man. I don't care what anybody says. It is so impressive. People don't realize in this sport, you're going to hit the ground. So you need to know how to crash. Like that's a real thing. That's a real thing. Having enough muscle and strength on you that you don't just break into a million pieces every time you crash, because some people do. We know who they are, right? It's unfortunate, but it's reality, man. And then knowing how to crash. And that's something that's really hard to teach. That's something that's really hard to teach, and it's even harder to learn. That's like a natural instinct thing. You either have it or you don't. That kid, I mean, go watch that Ironman crash, the way that he tucked and rolled. They were probably 4th or 5th gear tapped. And he just tucked and rolled with that bike. I thought he was out for like 12 months when I saw that happen. No, raced the next moto, completely fine. What? I mean, the kid's a little ox, man. It's just so impressive. I'm so incredibly impressed. I genuinely believe this season so far, these first 3 races have gone to perfection for what he needs to get out of this season. I don't think it could have gone better. I really don't. I really don't. I mean, if you look at it, even if he just finishes like 6th or 7th in the first moto, he's 4th or 5th on the night again. So he's right where he needs to be. He's right where he needs to be. That's my point. He got all the lessons that you learned from a 15th place and still got to take home an 8th. Like, could it get any better? I don't think it could. I really don't think it could. So big shout out to Deegs, man. Big shout out to the whole star team. Tom Vialle, huge night for Tom. He's really impressive. Again, I don't care what anybody says, okay? My mind is made up on this whole thing. He is not on the same rookie plane as the Hymases, the Deegans, the Hawkins. He's just not, bro. He's won 2 world championships. Get over it, okay? A lot of this sport is up here, and he's a little bit more mature up here. He's also in a 22-year-old's body, for God's sakes. So he's just not on the same level as these other kids. Very impressive, extremely impressive. But if you ask me, he absolutely should be doing better than the other 3. And for the most part, he is. So that's all I got on Arlington, man. What a drama-filled, crazy night. And now we've got the race, Daytona Supercross, man. I was so excited when I saw that on the schedule. I wasn't sure what they were going to do with it as far as the 250 class. It's a 250 East race, as we expected, as it should be. Man, I'm so stoked. So stoked. I think we're going to see some big surprises this weekend. I'm going to put it out there right now. I think Tom Vialle wins Daytona Supercross 2023. I'm just telling you. I think he wins it. That's the type of track that's all he knows. He has won 2 world titles for a reason. And I also think our boy has a really good chance to do really well there. I think, honestly, this may be just me, and I could be completely wrong because it is moto and things happen. But I genuinely think Hymas, Deegan, and Vialle are going to have their best finishes yet. I really believe that. I really believe that. And I could be wrong because Hunter's going to be incredible there too. Thrasher's going to be incredible there too. Jordan Smith. A lot of these guys have raced this track quite a few times now. They know what to expect. I don't know. I just have this feeling I have all year long. I'm in the back of my head, like, just wait for Daytona. Just wait for Daytona. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I was just about to upload this to YouTube and realized I never even mentioned our boy, DB. Not Danger Boy, Daxton Bennick, man. Huge shout out to Dax, bro. What a weekend for the kid. He went out there and executed. Talk about taking advantage of your opportunities, maximizing your situation. I mean, for real, I honestly thought some of those kids were going to give him a run. Maybe Juju or Casey. We all know my opinion on Casey. I think he has a very bright future in the sport. But Dax just dominated all weekend long. All the qualifiers, the main event, he just dominated. Big time congrats to Dax. And I got to tell you guys, man, I think what Star Racing did with Hayden and Dax was absolutely genius. As far as sending Hayden pro now and keeping Dax amateur for another year, I just think it was absolutely genius. I understand that a lot of that is based on what they do at the farm. Hayden sets the fastest lap on some days out of the entire team. Kind of insane when you think about it. But still, man, Hayden and Dax have such a close relationship. And even though they're boys and they are really good friends, you can't tell me that there's not some sort of wanting to outdo the other one, especially being on the same team, a team that they both wanted to land on, really the dream team for any up-and-coming amateur. I just think it would have done both of them no good to either both stay A-class for another year or to both go pro at the same time. I think sending one and keeping the other was genius. And obviously Hayden has shown he is ready to take that step now. And 3 rounds in, it's kind of hard to argue with that. But I just figured I'd throw that in there. I think that that little move right there is so genius for both of their futures. Get them away from each other, get them focusing on different things, let Dax go have a year of dominating the amateur classes like Hayden did, build up all that confidence, and then go pro next year. Do what Hayden is doing this year, next year. And Hayden will be focused on an entirely different set of goals at that point. So a little underrated, really smart move by Star, by Brian, by Dax's dad, whoever had a hand in it. I think that that is a very, very smart decision. So didn't want to let this video go out there about Arlington without a huge congrats to Dax. Maximize your opportunities, man. Congratulations, kid. As always, man, I appreciate you guys' support. Let me know what you thought about Arlington. Let me know your thoughts on the Triple Crown and who you guys got winning. Who you got winning Daytona? Are any of you guys going? I was there 2 years ago. I'm not going this year, unfortunately. Anyways, man, I really genuinely appreciate the support. Thank you guys. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, join the family, and I'll catch you on the next video, man. Until then, peace.